cities and then.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, let's call village meeting, village board meeting to order. Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Caleb Garn present.
Let's go player present.
Donnie Kirk present.
Chris Rio present.
Brandon Crowe present.
And no one else on Zoom. Let's stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's open for public comment on agenda items. 2 minutes per person, 14 minutes per topic. Say your name and address.
Marcus Berger, 328 Aspen Drive. It's not on the agenda, but as residents on Aspen Drive, we are getting very frustrated that our yards have not been fixed yet. It's been 15 months since I was here and complained about this, and it's July of next year. If we have to take legal actions, we will, but it needs to get done now. We cannot be waiting for the village to get this done, for MSA to get a new plan. We need to get a bulldozer back there and fix the damn yards right now. It's getting tired of waiting for you guys to do this. I don't care. Let's get it fixed. We are residents paying taxes and we want it fixed now. Got confirmation last year, you're gonna fix it. Came fall, Albrightson's busy, Albrightson's busy. I don't care about Albrightson. Find a new company. We need it fixed now. We wanna do things to our yards, but we can't because we're waiting on you. So let's get it fixed. Let's do what we're supposed to as board members and get this done for the community and for the people that live on Aspen Drive. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Was it Mark?
Marcus.
Marcus?
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't know. I apologize. Could I get your last name?
Berger.
Burgess?
Berger.
Sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
That's okay.
Thank you.
any other public comment? Anybody online? No hands raised. All right, let's move on to approval of the last agenda.
Can I ask a question? This is supposed to be minutes. Approval of minutes.
Yes, approval of minutes.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting.
That falls in with the consent agenda.
Oh,
So you're
that's on
just
there.
approving the agenda.
For tonight?
Approving tonight's.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
approving
Sorry.
tonight's agenda. Perfect. I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
And I do not think that Craig Cardinal was here.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay, no, sorry. Perfect,
I saw him outside, so.
okay.
You're up, Greg.
Perfect, thank you. We were asked, at work by Ryan to come in and more so give an update on our fiber project in town and answer questions. So, I mean, it's
Can
listed
you
as
speak up just a little bit so we can hear you back here too, please?
Sure, we were asked to give an update on our fiber project in the village of Somerset. Currently, it's essentially done. Construction's done with the exception of two little pieces on Aspen that our contractor missed last year. Which one of them's done, the other one they'll be doing in a couple days. Splicing is essentially done. The only thing that's left is a little bit of plum tree, aspen and juniper, rose court, like the south part of that subdivision, the old part, I should say. That is what they're splicing currently. 2 to 3 weeks. I talked to my contractor this morning, that'll be done. And then the village is entirely spliced, active, whoever wants it can have it. Currently, I looked this morning, we have 230 customers in the village connected to our fiber plant. There's another 50 in various stages of drop, getting plowed, get spliced, installed, waiting for them to call back for the install. So after that, my goal after year one, after the summer, was to have around 300 customers on it, and we'll probably be more in the 350 range with the amount of, applications.
What kind of numbers is it running?
As far as speeds,
Yes.
5 gig, if you want.
I have it, it's really good.
We have literally a dozen people in our entire network of all 14,000 customers at 5 gig, because nobody needs 5 gig, but, people want it, so
Yeah.
we'll offer it. And there's nobody even has computers that run that fast hardly, very, very few. So, 1 gig is our basic package of fiber. It's,
Right.
yeah, I think there's a couple I recognize some names here. Obviously I don't do all the orders, but I glance at them frequently. So I think there's at least a couple people in here that have it that I'm aware of.
And that was a $300 connection fee?
Correct.
And then all of the new buildings, or all the new subdivision that's going into the north of town, that's already got fiber ran to it, all those houses are.
Yeah, anything new has had it.
That's part of the
for a
the
while.
ordinance.
Yep. Yeah, did that ever actually happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Obviously we do it anyway, so I guess it's.
Yeah,
relevant.
no, and actually, that was on part of your.
Yeah, correct. I came in
recommendation,
and talked to you.
working with you on that.
Yep. No, and actually and I don't know if that's something you guys are, an ordinance that you passed, because when we had that meeting, we talked about it. Doing the joint trench on them subdivisions is great. It's, work-wise, it costs us more money because we have to use, Excel approved contractors, which they're literally almost twice as much as Chater and Richmond. But looking long-term, it's, you have a 10-foot utility easement, and on goal 1, if everybody goes separate, it's used up. So then anything goes bad or whatever happens down the road, there's nothing there. Whereas now everybody's in the same trench, so there's still, several feet for future. So
Perfect. I'm glad
that is
that's-
wonderful. So, again, that's the update, it's essentially done. And we have quite a lot of customers on it now. Questions, concerns? I know what the subcontractor Chaders used that winter, basically the whole town was drilled, directional drilled, so there was a lot less cleanup. But I know we had some issues with them fixing, boreholes and driveways and things of that nature, but it was in the winter, so they couldn't do it till spring, and I think honestly they forgot a couple of them. So, but as far as I know, I haven't had any calls about that for a long time. I don't know. I would assume, Bob, if you would have got me, you would let me know. So, I think we're good. If anybody does, if you do hear of somebody complaining, just obviously have them call the office, ask for me. Get taken care of, not a big deal. Other than that, it went very well. It took, I know a lot of customers, would vent their frustrations at me about the amount of time it took. But the amount of stuff we did in town is, it's a big project. There's miles and miles, $10 million of fiber in this town now. And the splicing, my contractor had 6 or 8 guys in here for the last 4 or 5 months nonstop. So it's a big project. So, but it's done now, so that's good. So, any questions on that? Again, if anybody has questions, feel free to give me a call. Bob has my email and stuff, so if you need that, so. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you very much for the time.
Thanks.
All right, we're on the consent agenda. What you guys, I believe, are here to talk about is on the consent agenda. Did you want to say anything about it in particular, or otherwise I'm just gonna throw it through for vote here?
I can speak. My name is Aaron Sundin with Derek Building Solutions in New Richmond. We are the general contractor for the Hockey Association project, which you have on your agenda tonight. If you remember, we were here in January and presented a conceptual plan as to what was going to be, what we were looking to do at the hockey rink out there. Realized that we weren't quite ready to present formally on that project. So we went back, did some survey work, and come to find out we had some issues with basically the parking lot that is there now had encroached onto the amphitheater property. And so we realized we needed to kind of clean up the site, and that was first and foremost what we were wanting to get done. And so reached out to the amphitheater. Basically, we settled on a land swap where we're going to give, or the Hockey Association is going to give them a little triangle of land that's kind of on the west side of the hockey rink, square off the lot, and basically pick up some land to the north. I'll just say that gets us to where we had the parking lot already, and some additional parking, and also some area for stormwater management when the addition happens. So really found out there were some other things to easements that needed to be corrected. But long story short, that's all been done. And you'll see the site plan, which we have on there tonight, does show 2 phases of construction. The first phase would be in addition to locker rooms and also a renovation of bathrooms and concessions in the existing building. And then phase 2, which would be in the future, would be another rink. What do you call those rinks?
Studio rink.
Studio rink. So it's not quite a full-size rink, but it is an additional practice skating area on there as well. We've been very fortunate that the amphitheater's been good to work with. Parking, I know, has been an issue out there. We feel like this will clean up the parking on the hockey site, along with, we'll be able to do some parking to the south of the site, which is being done now. And there may be future improvements there on the amphitheater site with their permission to maybe put down some gravel or improve that area as well.
Is that where you're referencing to, this spot right up here?
Yes, correct.
So that's not part of this plan?
So what I would say is that encompasses basically the whole plan in 2 phases.
Okay,
So when that particular area gets either gravel or potentially even paved, that's up to the Hockey Association. I don't know that right now.
right.
But more than likely, it will happen, something will happen there when we do that studio rink.
Okay.
But right now, what you see kind of on to the top of the page where you see how the lot's been
Yep,
squared
up
off.
here. Yep, I see
Yep,
that.
so there was some additional parking that was added up there as well,
Sure.
and we were able to clean up that lot.
So the question I had was the secondary access drive. Has that been approved? Or is that being asked to be approved on here, or is that conceptually? This little piece right up here that.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I think that's something that the Hockey Association would like. Now, I know there's an easement there, but I believe that's on a different property, Bob.
Yeah.
And so, you know, again, for kind of overflow, getting people out of the parking lot or emergency services, that was kind of the intention of asking for that access.
Right, because I know that's gated off and it's owned by a different individual there.
Mark Bonas, I believe.
Yeah, and this one's to the north of that. It's just a little sliver of the parkland that.
But is this development here that's been approved, is that going to restrict officer and or emergency? Because they were, the emergency vehicle use was for that gated access there, and if they put parking in there, is that going to restrict them from being able to
No,
access
we
them?
want to, that's the, kind of the purpose, is to keep that intact. Yeah, right now there's a gate and the property owner's like, I didn't give anyone permission. So this way, it gives the hockey another ingress and egress out of there. If there's a concert going on, if something happens on Main Street, it's hard for them to get in.
Right,
So this allows a secondary entrance.
So I know the landowner was okay with emergency vehicles for concerts.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if he is saying, I'm okay with now all the access of
what Bob is saying is this
Association.
this is new
This one's
and
different.
it's on the village property.
No, this isn't on the village property.
That's what you just said.
This is on the village property.
So that gate is just to the south of, just to the south.
Yeah, the easement, you can't see it there, but it would be kind of at the edge of that parking lot. The easement that Vanas has.
was-
So you're moving the access onto the,
The very south edge of the park.
oh, yeah, on Larry Forest Park.
The
Oh, this is the village.
I mean,
veteran-
Village Park, sorry,
Veterans Park.
Veteran Park, yeah. I'll get it
We'll get
right,
through all
I'll get it right to
We'll,
Monday.
we'll get through all of
Trust me, I'm
them.
still on
We
vacation.
got so many parks.
Village, veterans, Larry's, all of them, but
Okay.
it's veterans, yes.
But they will be going down the primary access will still be off.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, didn't you just get that repaved too? I think there were improvements on that got done. That's the main entrance and that's what I think everybody would be encouraged to use.
We won't advertise that second.
We can't,
What do you
are
think?
we, are we able
Pretty
to
happy
close
about
that?
it? Very
This is
happy.
grand.
Good.
Yeah, what we have to do after this is approved is we would go to the hockey and work out a ingress egress access easement. And then there would be some stipulations in that, that the village board obviously gets to be involved with what those stipulations are.
Any other questions for Aaron?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Under the consent agenda, I have, I'd like to pull the village bills out for discussion under new business.
Any others? Anybody want to make a motion on the consent agenda?
Brad Cronin, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda sans B bills. Is that where that one's coming out? Okay. B bills for discussion.
Second. There's a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed, say nay. All right. 6B bills.
So I was going through the bills and I happened to come across an item that I had asked about, and that was an attorney bill for an amount for $4,524 to Well Riley. And I asked what that was about, and that had to do with the motion that was previously set back in December of last year to hire special counsel. And I guess for my concern, I'd like to know what I started looking at the itemized bills on here about meeting with conferences of village officials and investigations and correspondence with village officials, and I've never had any conversation, communication, or anything to the matter, knowing what was relayed, and I don't see why we're spending $4,524 on any kind of communications that hasn't been held with this whole entire board. And I'd like to table the matter until all those communications have been relayed to us, so I can review them as well as everybody else.
Motion.
So what portion of the bills do we table? Can we just table that specific line item? Okay, so we won't gum anything else up?
Well, until, yeah, I'm saying that the Weld Riley bill that was submitted for reimbursement on has numerous, and actually even on 6/2 and 6/16 and 6/20, it's got email correspondence with village officials regarding pending development matters. So there was development matters that were $47, not a lot of money, but it's still a bill for $324 that was brought forth for pending matters of the president that wasn't really approved by this board. in any kind of motion or anything like that. And I'd like to know, I'd like to have that matter tabled as well until we come to terms with what we're going to do as far as who we're gonna use for, you know, I thought we have an attorney for those matters.
So move.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Just so I'm clear, you approved all the other bills except for welfare.
That's what that's what I
Yes.
think the motion was for.
We're to new business, discussion possible approval, mill and overlay bid award, Monarch paving.
So, we did open bids on Thursday and Monarch Paving was the sole bidder and, their base bid was $170,958 and no cents.
How many companies we open up to typically?
For paving,
Yeah.
typically Monarch. Yeah, it's
Just
tough.
Monarch or-
It's tough to convince
Okay.
other companies when you look at companies over in Minnesota, they can haul like 4 tons less than they can over here to get to the state line. So
Oh,
they're already working at a disadvantage. So Monarch's kind of got the monopoly over here and, you know, once in a while we can chain Knife River or some of those other companies to come on over and put in a price, but it's a challenge for them.
okay.
Does the state or the county also do paving?
They do.
Huh? And is that something that, are we comparable with the county as far as paving is concerned, that we could be able to look at contracting them? And what cost that would be, if there would be a cost savings there by any chance?
They'd have to sub out the milling portion of it and it won't guarantee their work either. It won't guarantee their work and their work has been questionable in the past. So if you have a problem with it, they're happy to come back and fix it, but you're paying for it.
Right, well, there's the township has used the county, right? Or are they using Monarch now?
They'll use Monarch for their chip seal, which is actually,
But as far as Bituminous Lake and Mill and Over,
It's-
you know, fresh mill is something,
Yeah.
yeah.
when I was working at Joseph in the St. Joseph Township, they weren't using the county at that time, so.
So when we put this out, you just went to these guys and this was the only one we got a bid from?
No,
or
we
you
put it,
this
we
out,
publicly did it.
the County did, and the county doesn't bid on it then,
No,
or does the county? They didn't want it,
They won't publicly bid it. If you approach them, they'll do it. They'll say, here's our price,
okay,
but not guaranteed
The
it's
county
not
does
worth it.
the time and material.
Yeah.
I know town of Richmond had them do a road here last year.
but I suppose it takes a long time, it's government work.
We gotta get them on the schedule.
Yeah.
Give them a little notice.
Yeah.
I guess what I was saying, I was just asking whether or not they were approached and or looked at for any kind of thing, or just overlooked for. I don't know what kind of cost savings it is,
And there's
because we've
really
never
one
had a
company.
mill and overlay, you know.
They're very
bids since I've been-
territorial.
Pardon?
One company is very territorial.
Well,
Like, but-
it's Matthew, so Matthew's a huge company, and
Okay.
any freeway project, it's Matthew on them, and
Okay.
Winesap was actually a Minnesota contractor. Monarch found out about it, said get back over across the river. So stay where you're supposed to stay. That's all that works. It's-
Okay.
And I agree with you,
It's our
Jessica.
state- It's bizarre.
I
okay?
would agree with you
I mean,
100%.
we're
I
so
do.
close to the border.
Well, and it's one of those things too, where they're so large that, you know, they have the
Yeah.
ability to store 6 months of oil.
Yeah.
You know, and so they can buy low and
Wow, okay.
they do good work though. I mean,
So how much do we have in our outlay for these projects to cover?
not 170,000.
Okay,
I don't know. I haven't confirmed that with Andrea yet. On our own.
So I'll have to come back on some of these.
well, we gotta figure out. For me, I can't prove anything unless I do what we have in capital outlay and what we're gonna be born on either through, I'm just speaking for me. I can't see what we would be putting on the taxpayers as far as if it's gonna be out for, a bonding issue, or if it's going to be, something that we can, borrow from another area, or what portion of this we can actually get done, but that's $170,000. And, some of these would be, I don't know, what's the committee, discussion on that? Was there anything from any recommendation from committee on that?
We got the bid, or we approved to go out for bidding to have B presented here.
Yeah.
So this is the first we're seeing of it as well.
So unless we know what we have for mill or for outlay, it's kind of hard for us to approve anything, right?
Yeah, we should probably know how much money we can spend before we spend it. How much money can we spend?
Last,
Or how much is in the budget?
but the question is, how much is an outlay?
Does that impact the next bid too then?
So it falls under straight maintenance, yeah, so
So that's,
if we're rough numbers, that's about 100,000 additional.
yes. So if we include the second bid, what other work we need to do, that's $270,000.
Well, if we go with the whole thing,
Yes,
but if the committee was saying, I think it's Shackner or Evergreen or Germain, I am a firm believer that Germain and Parnell need to be done. It's really tore up down there. And if I was going to be picking any of these, I would say, Germain and Parnell first, and HUD probably second, because it's relatively small price wise. Evergreen, you're looking at about 31,000 for Evergreen, right? And 52,000 for Shackner and Raymond Street. Is that right?
Yep.
And what's the top here for
General.
general? He's got just mobilization in town, is that?
Well, that's generally, the traffic control mobilization's all. How it was bid was lump sum, so that would have to be.
So it would be
parsed out.
proportionate based on if if we were to pick and choose?
Yeah, well, I think that's more or less, it might come down a little bit. 3,200 and traffic control and.
Right.
But mobilization is to kind of get here, that sort of thing. So it's not linear or not direction proportional, it'll be. That's just,
Andrea, do we know how much is in the budget, in the outlay?
70,000.
70,000. How much was allocated in this year's budget?
34,000.
So we got roughly about 100,000, give or take.
No,
so
70,000 includes what was budgeted.
That includes what was budgeted. So the 34,000 plus 70,000 minus 34,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
anybody got a tin can for quarters?
So what would bonding do to us?
I defer to Andrea on that one,
If
actually,
you
if
were to
that's
do a
okay.
bond on this, you could probably do a small short-term bank loan. What is, it's 178, and what's the other amount?
100, so.
You're looking at 270.
Yeah.
275.
I would do a short-term bank loan.
We go to our local bank with something like that. We've done it.
For $200,000?
Mhm.
What we're
Or
talking
we could
short,
borrow from capital improvements and pay it back over the next couple of years. Budgeting, which we've done in the past.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't think Shackner and Raymond Street need to be done this year. That's right.
You can wait a year.
I drive down it every day when I'm in town,
And we set these up so you guys can pull
Yeah,
things out.
but that's up to you guys to decide. I'm only one person. I'm just making it was brought to us and that's why we put it out there. I'd love to get it done, but not at $52,000. Short-term loan would be for how long?
5 years.
what kind of a strain would that put on our budget?
Would be the same as what you're budgeting for capital improvements on street maintenance.
Basically like 70,000 a year, so we basically do this, and if I understand you right, we do this and we wouldn't be talking road improvements for 5 years. Because the money's already been allocated to be paid back.
Yeah. That's to go bond for a major project.
If we could only do 5 years worth of repairs, would you be happy with this, Bob?
Yeah, and,
In your
kind of follow in
opinion.
the direction of the committee too.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
Identified some roads that, I said, well, let's put it on there and see what they come out at.
Right, we had a 5-year plan, right?
Yep.
And is this pretty much cover the 5-year plan, or is this gonna put us behind on the
No,
5-year
that
plan?
does actually address, we have a couple more streets that we probably look at it more of a chip seal. That, Main Street is getting really banged up.
Right, well, we're only buying 10 years with the mill and replacement on HUD and Parnell, right? Or on
I
Parnell
would
and
say,
Germain,
I'm gonna say more than that.
because it's less traveled, but if we're gonna start running traffic up there to the hockey rink, that's gonna
It'll be,
drive our
but
costs.
those are light vehicles. It's when we get semis and the heavy trucks that,
Okay.
those things really beat our roads up bad.
Okay.
So,
What about the chip seal? What's our length of time on that?
the next couple of years,
I mean, if we get it done, is that gonna prolong us for how long on that
Chip
Main
sealing?
Street? Yeah, chip seal for, the
That's-
microsurface, I'm sorry.
yeah, microsurfacing, 10 years.
You'll get 10 years on that too?
So that's what we're hoping. Yeah,
Give
that's
it a shot.
what the contractors
How
tell
much,
us.
how much is this gonna cost us to wait?
Yeah.
If we don't, what if we don't?
Depends on petroleum prices mostly. And tariffs.
And again, you wait too long and the roads break up.
Deteriorate worse, and now you got. no
Yeah,
more
so
money.
that's the challenge
It's
is,
gonna cost more money.
you know, probably waited long enough. If you wait, the more it cracks, the more water gets in. That's the thing. That's the real problem is the cracks in the water.
I don't
freeze
know
thaw.
about Evergreen. What is Evergreen?
I've got, that's the one that goes right into the south side of Whispering Pines, and
It's pretty beat up. But-
yeah, every year I get multiple complaints on that
Yeah.
road.
That's the-
drive
That's
that
the
one.
south branch?
It's the south entrance. It's pretty beat up.
I got you.
Yeah, and I'd like to go even, I'd like to run it all the way up to Red Pine, that needs it, but I think we axed that as part of the conversation, just because it was a lot more to go up to where it needs to be done.
If you're not gonna do anything for 5 years, maybe you wanna do everything that is contained in this. That's the other thought.
The idea is to try to do something every couple of years, but
Yeah.
as long as we got, every year addressing everything on the committee's accepted, plan for roads and bridges, and this is what is gonna get it done, I'd support that, but
No, you're not gonna hurt my feelings at all, so.
But I think this addresses all of the issues. I think we had some other roads that we put on there, but we had discussed.
well, you talked about LaGranger, right? And
Yep.
LaGranger was kind of set aside as that, well, what, will that make it another 5 years?
Yeah,
And your length of time going down on Evergreen, expanding that out, will that make it another 5 years?
It's the biggest problem, well, there's a couple problems with Evergreen. One, our water can't get into the catch basins because of the way the pavement was done originally. So it just kind of sits and it rots the asphalt. So it's deteriorated and everything's AMZ. And it's rough, it's that bottom part, it's constantly being patched.
Right.
So,
Well, we got some of the situation like that up in the meadows there too, where they're wanting water out and it's just
Yep.
deteriorating on that corner there by
Yep.
on Meadow Drive there. It's every time they're turning around, they're fixing that. They're repatching that.
so, on the other, our maintenance goes up, we have the county come and do the spring patching, so. That price will come down some, because they won't be doing these extra roads, and these are the roads that they're on primarily twice a year, they're that bad. So,
what's the estimated time to get this done? Yet this fall?
Substantial, our final completion's October 30th or 29th.
So by the fall, before, what you think?
I know there's a hole on Oak Street that I drive over every day.
That's what I
So
said.
put that in the archive.
The problem is you pick one, that, you're gonna make a bunch of people happy and a bunch of people mad.
Gonna lose
The
votes.
real question is, huh?
Gonna lose votes.
Yeah.
That's all we gotta do to lose votes.
You're never gonna make everyone happy, so we're gonna have to figure out. how
That's
to
for sure.
I
balance this.
I kinda like the idea of,
Is this committee
I think
recommendation though of the public work committee to address
Do you wanna
these
send it
streets?
back to
Yeah.
the public works?
Yep.
Well, no, I'm just saying if the committee's recommended that this is what it is and this is the low bids that we're gonna get, the only other option
The
that we
bids were
have.
opened after the meeting. It was the day after the
Right.
public works, so.
But the committee recommended these streets be repaired.
Apologize,
And,
yes.
and so,
we can march down to the street.
yeah, and so they parlayed to here, and what we're saying is, the only other option that I can hear of is that we go to the county and ask them to do a time and material on it to see if we could save money, otherwise, we either gotta accept it or pick and choose what ones we're gonna take, and that's, half the committee's here.
I mean, if they're.
I'm nervous
Not
about
doing
the
it for
county with
5 years.
no warranty.
Well, the
I am
county
too.
does it,
Can we
county
have them
does it
do
all
shop
over other
nursery?
places too, so.
Right.
We can have the county do shop nursery, is that okay?
I will keep an eye on it.
You guys can do whatever you want.
Just too sweet, sorry.
I say we go for it all, we do all this work right now. I say we go and get a short-term loan on it.
And that means we don't do roads for 5 years, or we'd have to do something else to do another road.
Or we look at growth and whether or not we can
Do more?
do something in the budgets and units
Yeah.
2 or 3 or whatnot, but.
We're gonna get 40 to 50 new houses a year, so.
Yeah,
It's a start in the right direction. I mean, I appreciate the committee's work on getting this far. I don't see the price going down.
no, it's just gonna go up,
Absolutely not.
it's just gonna go up.
Absolutely. A lot.
And I do like us doing it in large batches. It seems like getting it all done in 1 year, seems to be a lot easier. I know we had the bridge and all that done in all in 1 year and it was horrible, but having it all done at once was pretty nice. So we haven't had anything recently.
Then you're gonna save 5 to 10 grand on the mobilization and traffic stuff.
Right. So,
To the parcel now.
But there's another thing that we gotta also worry about at one point, is what's gonna happen with all the traffic when they close down the Osceola Bridge for the next year.
Oh, that's in the plans for next year.
yeah. There ain't a whole heck of a lot we can do other than,
I'm just saying, I'm just,
I'd rather get this stuff done
Just
now
saying.
than next year then.
well, no, I'm just saying there's gonna be a lot more people coming through our town.
Well, I think we're also gonna have to be looking at how we need to mitigate the traffic coming out of the new additions and coming out of getting on to 35, and getting on to.
Yeah, let's get people on the roads that we don't pay for.
Bob, do you think that Shockner and Raymond Street is it your opinion that they're in need? As much as the others that are on here?
They're probably the lowest on the priority.
So we
So-
could,
If you wanted to fix that, is that road gonna get away from us in 2 years? No, it's not. You know, we could even go in there with some,
I mean, you're talking 1/3 of the total.
Yeah.
270 here.
Right.
And I, much as I'd love to get it done, but, I guess it's up to you guys. I heard a committee recommended it. I'll support the committee on this and go that route if you so want.
I do concede that you have a point on the Shocker and Raven Street as far as how much the cost is, of the whole project. It does affect probably the smallest amount of residents, I would say.
and it doesn't have a lot of through, like, it's
Would-
just the residents. on
Would
that
this do the
road.
one up up to could we just do Shockner up to the ballpark, maybe?
Well, to be honest with you, Raymond Street's probably worse than Shockner.
Is that the one that comes into the ball?
Shockner goes straight into the ballpark,
That's
Raymond
the one,
breaks
okay,
off and
goes
goes up,
around.
and Raymond is the one that's actually really kind of tearing up. If you were gonna do one or the other, I'd say do Raymond before then, because that affects 34 residential houses. Shockner just is a thoroughfare, and that's still holding up pretty good, in my opinion. I don't know, what do you think? You kind of agree? So if you were gonna do anything, I don't know what the split would be on that.
I think you would do them both. I would just get the neighborhood done, I would just,
Get it done, don't think about it for 10 years.
yeah, get it done, not think about it for 10 years. It's not my money.
Well, you're not gonna have to worry about it for probably 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you,
Yeah, go along.
that's gonna be a long-term
You've got,
fix there,
you've got, light traffic on it.
right?
Again, heavy traffic's rough, hard on, that's our industrial park, those roads are built differently than our residential traffic, our main street's built differently, so
But like Meadow Lane, which is a main thoroughfare up to the
it's a
school,
lot of traffic.
is gonna
Mhm.
get a lot more traffic than
It
the
does.
residential traffic going on Shockner and Raymond. I'm sorry to say, but we just redid the, all of the internal, of association just this last year. But, there's definitely patchwork, and are we okay with just continuing to patch that?
Sure.
I think the money will be served. You'll get a long-term fix there, but I think your money would be better served in other areas of more constituents and more people if you put it on a thoroughfare like Meadow or something like that. Is there any other spots that were on the committee? I can't remember that might be needed. You would mention other roads that might need to be addressed that would demand more of a thoroughfare?
Sunrise, River Hills, the Revert Street in that area, Aspen, that's seeing some definite aging. Yeah, there's a few others. Meadow is a very good,
I was just gonna say it's Meadow Lane ready.
Meadow's
Yeah.
getting there. It's definitely getting there.
yeah, no argument with Meadow, so I would actually say Meadow's probably more in need of it than Shockner.
Can you swap?
Yeah, can
Should we
we?
swap out Shockner?
But do we have to go back for a new bid?
We would.
Sure, you would have to bid it, yeah.
Okay.
What I guess what I'm saying is that you go with this, well, yeah, you got mobilization all over again too.
Or you look at doing Meadow and Shockner Raymond next year in 2 years.
That's what I would do, is I'd pull out Shockner and Raymond and accept this,
I'm willing to charge that too.
and then go for Meadow, Shockner, Raymond in 2 years.
Mhm.
I'm fine with that, if you're okay with that. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
I just wanted to have the conversation because I think there's.
And some of those definitely are just like a chip seal, so Sunrise, we don't have those, you go up Main Street, you feel that every 10 feet, it's bump,
Right.
bump, bump, bump. The chip seal doesn't correct that, it just, it'll break through and it's not effective at all. So,
But I agree, the microservicing needs to be done on Main, otherwise we're gonna have a major expense there. So,
So if we remove though Shockner and Raymond, we don't have to go back for another
no,
bid.
no.
Okay,
We
that's
just pull
perfect.
them out.
Okay, we just pull them out, we
And
don't,
then we rebid them in 2 years or whatever.
for the new roads, okay.
Whenever we decide to rebid.
Then I'll make a motion to, remove Shockner and Raymond Street from the, Monarch paving bid, accept the rest of it and accept, finer asphalt on the microstrip.
Brandon Crowe, second.
Any further discussion?
I just wanted to say, thank you for the discussion on that. It was very helpful.
that's good governance.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes.
Something like finance in there?
What's that? I'm sorry?
Motion passes with
He made the motion.
removal of Shatner and Raymond Street for the total of $52,124. Subtracting from one,
I don't think that's the
Yeah,
number.
it's 52,124. 52,124.
That's it.
subtracting from the total of $170,958.
No, should we put the micro servicing too?
Oh,
I did approve
He added Farver asphalt sealer in his motion.
$97,090. Did you need that in a specific motion?
Well, if you want to authorize someone to go get a bank loan, you're gonna have to do that. Pay for it.
So,
We gotta
I'll
approve them
figure out
separate.
finance in August.
thanks, Ingrid.
Thank you.
That'll work.
so that'll be on finance and for,
Item 7C,
you okay with that, Paul?
Yeah, I'm fine.
discussion possible approval deeding of parcel 181-1024-90-200 to neighboring property owners.
So this came up, Bob brought this up. And then I think it's Bruce Birch on one side and then who's the neighbor?
I'm not familiar with the neighbor.
I think it's Eric Jorgensen. I think. If I'm looking correctly, I might be backwards, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
This strip off of Sunrise into Sunrise Park, right?
Yeah, the rear yards are essentially in the parking lot of Larry Forest.
And then it's our lot, but they've been taking care of it.
Bruce
Yeah.
has.
Yeah, Bruce made it aware to me a couple years ago, he's like, hey.
He's been publishing it on Facebook
Oh,
too.
for sure. So. We had talked before and the decision from the board was go to your neighbor, see if you can find a resolution between you to split this lot, or you want all of it, or does he not want it?
Has that been done?
Yes.
So there's some kind of something in
Yeah,
writing or
so
whatever
split it
that,
right in half, and we're good with it. I said,
who's,
okay.
who's the other neighbor?
We can't remember. We're all struggling to remember.
You know, I'm perfectly okay with that, but I think there should be something that from both of those neighbors that come to us and say, hey, you know, we're okay with the deal, split this down, and then we can approve it.
I think that's fine too.
You know, I think they can come to us and I'm perfectly fine with it as long as, you know, who's covering the cost of resurveying.
That's the board's decision. The associated cost with recording.
Right. Because if we make this move, there's a cost associated with that somebody's gonna board, right?
Mhm.
Paul?
You're gonna need some survey work, a couple deeds, and recording.
And is that gonna be,
noticed or public hearing associated with that or anything?
Is it a right of way or is it just a strip that's owned by?
It was originally an easement, wasn't it?
It was gonna be an entrance for Larry Forest, but
Yeah.
potentially.
small lot, I believe, right? No, it's tiny.
Yeah, I think it's only like
0.19 acres.
10 feet at the mouth here.
And if it's,
Sharon
if it's, you know, if it was
Sharon
right
Perry
away,
is the
then vacate the
Oh.
right away, it goes
Okay.
half and half.
a lot,
But
so.
if it's a lot, then, you know, you have to attach those parcels
Something.
to the other, so you're gonna need a couple deeds and some survey work.
and what does that cost?
I just had one or two on those.
Survey work,
Couple thousand,
yeah, a couple
and
thousand.
then the actual deeds are $30.
So we're maybe
So we're looking
$5,000.
like between $200 and $2,500 roughly,
Two to four, I don't know. 2 to 4 is probably good.
$4,000. Oh, okay. And we don't know who's paying for that.
Well, after the board.
It
says who's paying.
it would have to be us. We'll have to figure out who's paying for it.
Or you split the cost or whatever you guys choose.
Well, if we give it to them for $1. Cover the costs.
Not quite.
I'd like to see something. Read them what they're willing to do or accept, or just like, yeah, we'll take it over and we write a check, you know, check to pay for the surveying. Is that what the board wants to do?
Yeah, I can reach out to both of them I have not talked to the,
I know Bruce has been maintaining it, at least that's what
Yeah.
I've
And
seen
I
on
talked to the-
Facebook.
property owner to the north of him. But he said, no, we agreed on that, so. I think you're right, confirmation that they do agree on that would probably be the best.
Yeah.
So we don't do something and go, hey, what are you doing?
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
I just wonder who's paying for it and whether or not they're all agreeable, because I
So
don't
this
want
is
to
just
come back
really-
and say, I didn't agree to that,
Are you-
or I wanted Bruce to say, I wanted it all, or what, you know what I mean?
Are
This
you
is,
open to paying for it, Donnie, or what are your thoughts on
Well, I
who
think that
should pay for
there
the
could be
survey
a
work?
question of where that comes from, money wise, out of our budget, because we weren't budgeting to spending $4,000 in surveying.
Well, I figure if someone's getting some land, like, their property value's going up.
Well, the property value is going up and their property taxes are gonna go up, which is gonna accompany some of that. But we gotta see what the end justifies means.
I guess I would want them to cover it. Those are big costs, in my thought.
If that's your position, then
So I just told Bruce, I said, I'll get on the agenda, let the board talk about it. I said, I'll probably be back with you. So, but I think you're right, definitely think about those. And then let me have the opportunity to get something in writing from both of those property owners. So we have validation that,
to move the table until we hear back from them.
Isn't the motion to speak with the property owners?
yeah, just.
Consensus.
You can just direct me to do that.
And move the table until there's a written agreement that's presented to the board and how the fees and the lands to be disseminated.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. 7D, memorial tree planting request from.
Yeah, so Renee Brinkman had called
Chuck.
a couple weeks ago requesting a memorial tree for a resident in Somerset that passed away. And I said, well, let me just check with the board. The reason I didn't just say yes is our old court plan, our outdoor recreation plan, had it identified that, yeah, people are gonna wanna make donations or memorials for beloveds and, a tree or a bench or something. Our new court plan doesn't address everybody. It states that they have a significant historical purpose. And the reason behind that, because I did check and they said that's to prevent your parks from looking like memorial or cemeteries.
But they still have to be approved by the committee, right?
Right. So being that our language is kind of silent on it, and she's not a war hero, she was a great person. I didn't know her personally, but I'll take Renee's word for it. But that's kind of, do we want to get down that road? Because it will be precedent setting. Are we gonna allow, schools typically don't allow them. They did approach St. Anne's. I don't know if the feedback was on that. But
So
we'll-
they pay for the tree and they
They
plant
pay-
the tree
yeah.
wherever they want or wherever
we would,
they
Well,
have.
it's gotta be
Uh,
approved by the committee.
we would pick it out, but I just wanted to have a conversation with the board. I said, I don't feel comfortable answering that because it is precedent setting. So,
What did we do before we got the new language?
pardon,
What did we do before we got the new language? When was this,
fortunately, we never
Had
anybody-
this?
No,
Oh, okay.
nobody's approached us with a more. We do have one bench down at Village Park.
okay,
But that language had gone away, just for the sole purpose of preserving the park, so they didn't turn into, like I said, a memorial like.
It doesn't sound like people are really beating down our door to plant trees or
No,
memorial benches.
it's not it's,
but they
But it
might
is-
be now.
But it is a good thing to at least be able to address it and have an understanding that once the tree has been in the ground, it is village, it is village property and subject to whatever if the village says it's a nuisance down the road and cuts it down, you don't have somebody coming up to you going, I planted that tree and I expected that to be put, you know what I mean? And they have that kind of stuff at some of the churches and stuff that we dealt with and, so I just wanna make sure that if you had something like that, you would have an understanding that if they decided to say, we put it in the ground, it's now.
They can plant it at my house all along.
Uh,
Just kidding.
I guess I'm all for planting as many trees as possible. Whatever, as far as a memorial, what would be as a memorial? What would you put on it?
Maybe a plaque or a stone.
Tree?
Well,
What if we say
New
they
Richmond?
can't put like a stone in the ground to make
I
it
don't know
look
about
like
New Richmond, other places have them. I mean, well, the fairgrounds in St. Paul's, an example, they got so overrun with benches that they stopped. They won't let anybody do benches there anymore.
Right.
So it can be a problem. Tree,
what I'm saying is, when they decided they were gonna put a bench in, they said, yeah, you can put a bench in, but you gotta adhere to understand that it's.
they had a whole program set up for that.
But you can't sit in a tree.
You can, you can.
I don't get too excited
I
about
can't.
a tree. I think.
That'd be a big tree.
You know, you have to be careful where you're.
So it sounds like we have to write some ordinances on this or
I don't
something to
think-
say if we allow this in the
think so.
future.
But I just didn't feel comfortable saying yes, and I don't feel comfortable telling her no. And I just said, I just want that to be a board decision. So someone doesn't come, what the heck?
Did she have an idea where she wanted it?
We would pick the location.
We would pick the location.
So it wasn't conflicting with, grass mowing and our utility lines. Larry Forest, it would go
Okay,
up them, and Larry Forest does need trees.
I move that we, kick this back to Public Works to.
I think Public Works needs to make a recommendation to the board, and that's the Parks Department, and they should take a look at it, come up with an agreement and make a recommendation to us.
is that your motion? I'll second it.
Motion and a second, any further discussion?
Only who's making you got the motion down? It doesn't matter, do you want Caleb and,
Yeah, I thought Caleb made the motion.
I moved. Both Brandon and Jessica seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion
Hi, I
passed.
said I, sorry. I just like repeating things. I don't know what's going on with me.
That's all right.
It's a long day. I should go home.
7D vendor permits through Wisconsin DOR.
Did Ryan add this as a result of some?
yeah, I'd like to
feedback?
table this for the time being. It was supposed to be, originally, it was supposed to be kicked over to the planning commission for a discussion and then it come on to the board. And I'm not exactly sure, I haven't had a chance to review all of this, but I know, Paul, we had originally talked about this vendor seller's permit issue in the past. Can you refresh my memory? Because I got an email, forgive me, I'm pointing out here, I got an email from you and I couldn't remember when we talked about it, but could she, Jessica was asking me when it was talked about.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has.
Yeah. And I thought that, we were going to have a permit for that.
We got a transient merchant permit, I think, right?
Yep.
But this is a different permit, isn't it?
It's like for vendors at the Somerset Amphitheater and
Which is part of our ordinance, right?
Yeah, I mean, we had some exceptions for events in the park, celebrations and that sort of thing in there. That's a while back.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been going for a while.
I'm okay with tabling this until
Or do you want to send it to the planning commission?
the plan commission, that's fine.
I mean, this looks like it's talking about getting a seller's permit from the state.
Everyone should have one of those if you're selling something, so.
But absent of, and Ryan's not here, I don't know where this all come up from. I wanted to clarify, it was, yeah, Sean brought it up and I haven't had a chance to go through the actual ordinance and review that and, get the ordinance of what number it was and stuff. I knew it was coming up at the planning commission. I was interested to hear what that was going to entail. So I'm perfectly fine with tabling this. It's nothing urgent that needs to be dealt with right away.
Would this fall under zoning board?
Exactly. The zoning, what do they call it, zoning administrator?
Did this fall under that?
Well, don't they enforce ordinances?
Yeah,
It's not really
Not-
zoning,
No.
We're licensed.
not licensing though. Or
License.
limiting,
They oversee licenses.
not for
all.
vendors, really.
We just table till next month then,
I'm fine with that.
make a motion, table.
Maybe we talked to Ryan to see where he was going with this.
That's what I'm saying.
You gonna put it on the other committee?
Well, Ryan can ask for it. Maybe I'm fine with tabling it until next month and hopefully Ryan can give us equal advice on where he wants to go with this. So I'll second the motion.
There's motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. 7F, community branding and marketing proposal from Somerset Champions.
I would like to also ask to push this. I have a lot of feedback I need to get to Becca. There's a lot of stuff that I would like to work on with this. So can we table it or push it out at least another month so I have time to sit with Becca and go through some of my thoughts?
Is that your motion?
Yes, that is my motion.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
All that, I guess the one thing I have to add to this is that I like that it's a lot shorter and it has phases, so it's a lot.
There's a-
More easier to, it's a lot easier to take in than.
But there's a lot of.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. Unfinished business.
I need to step away from you. Drop off the wrench for somebody.
Discussion possible approval AT&T lease renewal. Okay, movement there, Bob?
No, we have a new representative.
Well, how
at
fun.
AT&T.
Well, how
start
fun.
all over
We can just start over.
Actually, we got everything, it took me a little bit to find the person. I mean, he got a hold of me, actually, he's like, "Think you've been trying to get a hold of John?" I said, "Yes, I'm taking over for John, he's off doing something more glamorous." He did get things back to us relatively quick, but they came this afternoon, so I would just suggest, let's kick this to August, if that's okay. This gives us some time to do the review on what they sent us, so we didn't slide anything in.
I mean, I looked at it quick, and if I was reading it right, it looked like they gave us most of the stuff that we asked for.
Love concessions.
Good.
So it's, this guy gives me the, feeling he just kind of wants this off his plate.
I thought you were
Yeah,
just-
for how much
I
he's
thought you were a
arguing
good
about.
negotiator,
It's like,
but
he's gonna pay it.
You got all that.
Well, you're right, Paul.
I'll make a motion to table till next month. AT&T lease renewal. Second. Any further discussion?
I think we're close.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Yeah, 8B, discussion possible approval sale of vacant land owned by Village of Somerset, PIDs. Yeah, say all these, 181-1028-10-000. 181-1028-21-000 and 181-1028-40-000 and 181-1028-50-000. What do we got? Can you repeat that?
Looks like, there's a letter from, David saying that 149 is a reasonable.
Me and Bob have had lots of discussion about this. We think that's reasonable. There could be concessions, to the TIF. Depending what's there. We're not gonna let anybody buy it that, until we know what's gonna be there, of course.
So they have to come in with a plan for the land before we would agree to sell it. So they'd have to have a whole plan laid out.
Well, we wanna know what we can do it, you can do anything you want, it's your lot. But we wanna know what's gonna be there, that's for sure.
The bigger question I have is, we bought that property for $450,000. And the understanding was that public, was it $450? It was $450. And with the issue that there was an offer that was made for that land, if you remember, we bought it out from underneath the guy that they had an offer. Remember, and so, I mean, if it was worth $450,000, I know we took a portion of it for the intersection to get the truck route back on there, which.
Pork chop.
Yeah, so, how much of that would be dropped from that offer that would be from the individual that wanted to buy it for $450,000 prior to us buying it?
You lost me on that part of it, who wanted to buy?
John said he had an offer for $450,000 on it, and that's why
We
we
have
bought it.
we have no proof of that.
That's what he told us, in public comment, that's why it was bought.
You're taking that for the truth. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not even gonna get into the full 450 thing. I wish I could have got involved with that part of it.
No, I understand that, but that's why the dollar amount was spent on that.
Well,
So ultimately, what we want to get on here,
Are you saying we overpaid?
oh, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
yes, we overpaid, we needed it.
But you needed, I think it was an absolutely great buy. And that curve, that turn is awesome. Did you overpay? That's water over the dam. Now I think we're trying to get a little money back. Trying to get something nice there. Looking at what we sold Ben's and Archie's lot, I was involved with that quite a bit. And that surely didn't fly off the market. And that went for 160. That was bigger. So that's where Donnie, the numbers are gelling between me and Bob. We think that's gonna be reasonable. We wanna get it back on the tax roll.
That's what I'm saying, I'd rather see it on a tax roll, but I just don't want somebody to buy it up, just to buy it up.
Well, we're not gonna we've talked about that. We're not gonna let somebody just buy it for investment.
So we can't sell it back to
So-
the guy who sold it to us for $450 to turn around and do it again?
I've asked.
Huh?
I've asked.
So this, go ahead.
If you're gonna do this, one, just caution you, we're an open session, so don't play around numbers and say, we'll offer this, but we'll take this. Because that's all.
I didn't say that.
And if you go down this road, the last thing you wanna do is, brought up is, sell it to somebody and sits there for 10 years. You wanna have an agreement, you wanna have a development agreement that they're gonna build X
In a certain
in
amount.
so many, a year, 2 years, whatever. If they don't, you have the option to buy it back for what you paid.
So typically the process is the individual or the developer comes and they talk to me about the lot. And I said, what do you want to build there? I want to put multifamily. Can't do that. It's not allowed in the zoning. And then it's, well, I want to put this. How much is your building going to be worth? They tell me. And then we write that in the developer's agreement that it's going to be evaluated.
Have you had any interest on it?
No, because it hasn't been for sale.
Okay.
Well, it was been for sale,
It's been for sale.
Well, it's been for sale.
Silently.
it's been advertised and been for sale.
It's
since-
in one of our marketing publications that, it's just too small. So
But I mean, there's potential that, the right developer comes in and shows us what they're gonna put on there, and we're gonna sell it for $1.
we've had it on LoopNet, and all I got were people that were calling to buy it, hold it, and resell it. So I ended that subscription.
So the building that Lowell just built, how did that process go? Was it the same where we listed it for a certain amount and he came in and bought it, or did he come in with some plans, or how did that
That
process
again was
go?
on LoopNet. I pulled that off of LoopNet because it was just the same phone
Yeah.
calls, same land, gobblers, and I just, okay, this is irritating. Lowell just said, hey, is that lot still for sale? I think he approached you first.
Okay.
And, yeah. Selling price of that was 160. He said that I'll build a $2 million building. Ellers looked at it, said you can incentivize that, you can refund that lot. That made him increase the value a little bit. It's another term. Say, if we get this back, will you put that money into the building.
Okay,
Sure. So that 160 got infused back, we release, I don't know, what is it, $30,000 for 5 years, whatever, so we refund. So the same thing I'm gonna guess is gonna happen with this lot.
Okay.
Is, hey, if we buy this, is there an incentive? I would propose, pay as you go. And, again, the board gets to weigh in on all this and say yes, no, or go back and negotiate with that. So
What's the difference in size between Archie's and this lot?
This lot here is 6/10 of an acre.
30,000 square feet.
6.688 acres. The Benz and Archie's, a little bit bigger,
45, I remember.
a little bit bigger.
we're gonna have to
Was it
rename.
twice?
Some of that we didn't sell.
What?
At Ben and Archie's, because we kept a portion of that.
Okay.
And that's what I was saying, is that really, I think we probably should ask the same amount. 160, because we kept that portion over there for public parking, remember? So would it be, unopposed to asking 160 is the same lot as the other one? And,
You're telling me, you're the seller.
Yeah.
I don't tell you what.
but I mean,
That's
it's
whatever you
equi-
want.
I understand it, but I'm just saying, it's the same, basically.
Let's say 159, let's say 159, because it sounds
Yeah, it sounds
better
better.
to me.
It looks better.
It sounds better to me. I don't really have any ideas. I've been racking my brain what would be good there, and I did notice, I did wanna ask, and I don't have to waste your time on this, but I noticed on a little rendering, I think MSA did, that they actually had a possibility that could be residential, like an apartment building, is that
Up top.
up top, so
A business
commercial
on the
down
bottom.
below, and, okay.
So that all has been solicited out to potential developers and now this,
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be something like what Lowell did, maybe, something down below and.
I hope we
something
can
up
do
above.
something like that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes,
Yeah, I'd love to see.
I would
Okay,
love to see
so
that.
159, it's comparable to the other one. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. I mean, I would recommend something like that, because we did keep a portion of that, and I don't know how much of that Archie's lot is, public for public access, but I think at least we could say we've got comparables. I'm fine with that.
Make your motion.
I moved to put the lot up for sale for 159.9, 159,
59 even, I think is good.
159.
Brandon Crowe, second.
Any further discussion?
Just that I can't wait to see somebody come forward with some kind of development on that too, before it's sold.
Can we start calling that Ben's and Archie's now the Peterson lot?
Yes.
So we
Sure.
stop calling it Ben's and Archie's? I just want it renamed because Lowell deserves it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Thanks, everyone. Motion passes.
Thanks, Bob.
Make a motion to, go into convene in a closed session
Motion,
under Wisconsin statutes 19.85(1)(c)(1), considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation, data of any public employee which a governmental body or has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility or vacation payout.
is there a second?
Then you can go to the meeting. Don't forget to, don't even have to move.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dave.
Roll call vote, Mr. Chairman.
Roll call vote to move into closed session.
Jessica Clark, aye.
Don Kern, aye.
Chris Real, aye.
Brandon,
Caleb Garn, aye. We'll now closed session.
We're in.
Reconvening from closed session.
Like to make a motion to offer a 31-hour vacation settlement to former secretary contingent upon a full release at her normal hourly rate.
Brandon Crowe, second.
Further discussion. Favors.
Just to clarify, village clerk.
Village clerk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Village clerk, former village clerk. I think there's only one former one.
Still second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passed.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.
I'm glad it's raining out there.
Not anymore, it just, it
Lighten
started
up.
and quit.
Now's the time.